Hello, welcome back. I'm Tonya from Tonya's Witchy Kitchen, and how are you doing today? I'm actually doing pretty good. Yep, I've actually been gone, which is why there was no video, taking care of my mom because she had surgery. And it wasn't really me taking care of her, let me tell you. She was cooking and, doing all the things, and I was working, and I just feel like a horrible nurse. I just think women are easier to take care of than men. Not going anywhere with that. But yeah, so it's been super crazy. And while I was gone, my grandkids were out, and I heard all the stories about what they were doing. And one of them, my one grandson, I guess he was checking out. He was down at the beehives, and my husband was yelling at him going, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm checking the bees." And my husband's like, "You're gonna get stung. You're too close," I guess he was like super close to the opening. And he's like, "I'm just watching them come in and out." He didn't get stung. I think he had a total of 6 ticks. Yeah. Yeah. They are out in droves because my dog has been bringing them in. It's so funny. The one dog, they'll get on her, but they don't bite her. They just, decide to go somewhere else in the house. But Willow, it's Maggie, doesn't get them. Willow gets them in droves. She hears the word tick and she runs, like Maggie hears the word bath and she runs. So yeah, it's been quite a busy week or so. I think it's been a week, a little over a week. Yeah, just crazy how life flies. And we're almost into May, and we're still not doing my May soaps. Oh no, there's some more coming up. Me, who doesn't do sets, has gotten into doing sets. I know, crazy. Get rid of my gum. But anyway, today we are doing, it's kind of a back, it's an upgrade to an old soap that you might be familiar with. But we're going to talk about hot process and swirls and the blue Caribbean. So 3 things: be kind, be forgiving, be you, and let's go check out the new blue Caribbean. Okay, to start, here are all my oils and butters in the crock pot. Here is my super fat. I know that's a little weird, but I'm using cocoa butter as my super fat for this recipe. And then when they're all melted down and at about 150 degrees, that's when I make my lye water. Okay? See, I'm not putting my super fat in. So when my oils are 150 degrees, that's when I make my lye water. Okay, they're a little bit more than 150. That's just how it goes. And my lye water is going to be about the same as my oils right now, like around 180, to 200. And yeah, I don't care, because it's actually less work on the stick blender the hotter your oils are. And a little tip for you all, my immersion blender has a plastic head. Yeah, see, it's plastic, and it's really good with my ceramic crock pots because it doesn't start breaking down the ceramic. I know that's really weird. It's the metal ones scrape it up, and all this other stuff, but otherwise I found I like the plastic one better. Just okay, because my other one is metal. You've seen it. So I'm just gonna stick blend till I kind of get a little bit to a trace. It might not be a full trace, but I'm adding buttermilk to this recipe, and it's kind of chunky because it was in the freezer, and then I put it in the fridge overnight so I could use it. So it's cold and it's chunky, and that's fine. It's totally fine. I didn't want to add it before because of scorching. You have that scorching the milk and scorching the buttermilk. And because it's hot process, it's going to scorch a little bit. It's scorching the sugars in it. So it's going to scorch a little bit. So watch my batter. It's going to go from this beautiful pale to kind of like a creamy, more yellow. Right? Does that make sense? Yeah, see? It just gets a little darker, but that's okay. And so that's when I add the milk, is when I'm close to trace, somewhere around there. I can't believe I was doing that because that stuff was hot. I did get smart. Like, it's hot. And I cleaned my stick blender out really, really well. Just because I might not use it again. I might. It just really depends on the soap. My biggest tip for hot process is do not leave it alone. Okay? Keep watching for it. This, I think, is what they call the applesauce stage. I really hate this stage because everything looks so applesaucy. So it's an accurate term, but I just mix it up and set it again. I check it the first few times. I check it like every 5 to 10 minutes, and then it's 15, and then like a half hour. Probably cook it 2 hours, and which is why I do a high water ratio. My water is 3-to-1 to the lye. So if there's an ounce of lye, it's 3 ounces water. You know what I mean? And I just mix. I mix in between. Some people set it and forget it. It's just not me. And I really hate the applesauce stage because I just think it's never gonna go back to where it should be. Which is why I am taking my stick blender. It just probably isn't cooking as fast sometimes either. You know what I'm saying? It's just not progressing to the next stage. And there's, they have a lot of names for the stages, and I just like, it's my soap. It's my hot process soap. Cleaning it out again and scraping down the sides. And, I saw one girl, mine isn't thick enough, but she would scrape it, like pull it in. She'd go around her bowl and pull it, or crock pot and pull it in. But I'm not even there yet. So once again, it's still in that stage, but it's fine. It's cooking, it's saponifying, it's doing what it needs to do. Like, hot process is very forgiving. I think we're still at 182. Usually that thing is like 200. This was literally almost a volcano, and I forgot to push the button to record, so you didn't get to see it. Okay, but fast forward to, I've added my super fat, I've added my fragrance oil, and I've mixed it up really well, and I've divided them. Okay, I've divided them. This cooks 1.5 to 2 hours. After this, then I am going to add my color to this, which gives it its name. My mica is the beautiful Caribbean blue from Brambleberry, and this soap is called Blue Caribbean. Yep. Not very original, but if you know the original story, it's because I panicked and I didn't have a name for the soap when somebody asked, and I was like, it's a Blue Caribbean. So once I get that all mixed down, I am going to add titanium dioxide to the other half. I don't always, but being it was a buttermilk soap, I did. And I actually microwaved that soap in my Pyrex in the microwave for like 30 seconds just to heat it back up. What you could also do is put it back in the crock pot and put the cover on, and just don't like cook it, but let the heat of the crock pot warm it back up. There's other things to make it fluid. You can add yogurt at the end. I really don't like adding yogurt and then pouring it because it's not getting baked in, and to me it just seems weird. And I'm fine with it this way. Like, the people who love the soap, they like the rustic look of it. So to get the swirl, okay, you put your 2 colors in there, and you literally, it's an in the pot swirl, hot process style. You literally want to swirl those colors together, not drastically, okay, but just slightly, okay? So it looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. And then you basically plop it into the mold. See, just like that. we're going to plop it into the mold and let the swirls do their thing. The colors, look at that beautiful streaks in my crock pot. They're going to just do their thing, okay? And that is really all there is to swirling. You could do 3 colors. I think the more you do, you're just going to have to play with it yourself. And I usually just do the 2 because that's what is in the soap. And, but it's okay. It's really okay. Make sure you bang your mold down really well in between because you could end up with, air pockets easily with this because it's chunky, My shave bars are never chunky. Like, I literally pour them into the column mold. Or I don't always pour them, but I could, if I could lift the crock pot. But bang it down really good. This is so funny because this is my mold that, likes to bow. And I was trying to get my top, the top is always the hardest. I try and push on it, and make it not quite so, rustic looking. I've always wondered, maybe you could probably, decorate it, put some melt and pour on there. Some people just shave it off, okay? They just shave it off. I am just putting mine between my molds to hold them, to hold it straight just until it cools. There's no, it's already, usually goes through gel phase in the crock pot, so there's no reason to put this in an oven and pop it. It's done. The soap is done. So now it just needs to set up and lose the water that it has in there. You still gotta cure it, okay? And it just depends how long it takes you. You could just weigh it every week, or yeah, I'd weigh it weekly and go from there. It is very rustic, but like I said, the people who buy this, they really love the rustic look. Okay, so maybe they don't. Maybe I'll have to start making it just as a cold process. But it started hot process. It's been hot process forever because actually the fragrance oil discolors to a different color. And you wouldn't know it, but I think it's because of the hot process. I think that makes all the difference. Yep. I'm like, what am I doing? Keep going, just keep cutting so we can see those swirls. We got the little 1/2 inch nub and show them to me. Yep, look at that. Look at that. Aren't they just super cute? Rustic on the side. It's kind of like a man, that man that's, abrasive on the outside, but he's all mush in the middle. Yeah, I don't know who that would be, but I'm sure they're out there. But yeah, aren't those swirls? They're just cool. They're really pretty cool. I did a good job on these. They got that marbling effect. It's not hard to do. It's really not. If your soap gets too cold, like I said, just put it in the microwave for a little bit, 30 seconds, and watch it because it will blow up. But that's my tip to swirling soap. Here are the fragrance notes to this bar. I know it's very bland, but it's really hard to describe. Very complex scent. Here are the soaps when I just cut them, and here are the soaps when they are fully cured. And as always, I hope you had a good time. Thank you for dropping by, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.